Welcome, everybody. Pull this forward. Hi there, Supervisor Pyska. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'm Brian Hansen.
Roll call?
And we'll do a roll call. We'll start down the end with Angel.
Yeah, so there are four. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so there are four council members present, or board members present, and one missing, so there's enough to form a quorum.
Correct. Flamin McLeod had a prior commitment. Okay, so we'll call this meeting to order. 6:02.
Review of the minutes,
Want to start there? Review the minutes?
You're
Okay.
up.
Angel, if you'd be so kind as to review the minutes from our last meeting.
Yeah, so at our last meeting that we had on June 12th, 2024, we had a presentation by Scott Harder. It was a review of the 2024 Kelseyville Water and Sewer rate study. The project included rate adjustments for Spring Valley Water, Kelseyville Water and Sewer, and Northwest Sewer Services with a 5-year rate plan aligned with Proposition 218, starting in November 2024 through July 2028. And this plan was necessary to cover the operating costs, infrastructure improvements, and emergency reserves. Then we had Mireya Turner give an introduction to community development, or to the community development department. And basically their mission is to provide 3 services: recruitment, retention of staff, professional development, and fiscal sustainability. Sorry if I'm not close enough. Next, we had a public works update for Kelseyville, and basically saying that federal funds require more environmental review, and that was all I really had for that. And next, we had a proposal to change the bylaw meeting date from the 3rd Wednesday to the 2nd Wednesday of the month, and the motion was approved by Brian Hansen and seconded by Meg Langford. And we had no public comment, and the meeting was adjourned at around 7:38 p.m.
Great, thank you for that review of those minutes. Moving on to the next item.
Move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Oh, we want to approve them?
I'll second the approval from minutes from last meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, any opposed? Okay, unanimous approval?
Next, we have our supervisor update.
All right, we've got Supervisor Pyska present, and there's a mic set up right over there for you.
Is that better? Okay, good evening. So I don't have a lot of updates because I was out of town for the last couple of weeks, but one of the things that is really important right now is we've got to get the local area plan committee fully seated. I think we have 4 applications in for the Kelseyville area, and we have to seat 9. And I think I'm sorry, that's the Rivieras. There are 7 applications in for this area plan. However, most of them are business owners, and there's only a select number of seats for business owners. We have to have a representative from Ag, and we did have an applicant from the Farm Bureau, but he actually, although he lives in a Kelseyville zip code, he doesn't live in the area, the planning area, so we need a new Ag representative. And I would really like to see families represented, people with kids in the school, or somebody that works in the school, or education. We do have a tribal seat that's open too. And then I would like to see also some representation from the Latino community in the area too. So I think we have some work to do to get that group a little bit more diversified, have, you know, some really quality candidates that have been working in the community for a long time, really understand some of the long issues and have some visions on how to move forward. So there is a seat. I think Joy said she wanted to fill the seat. Brian said he was going to give an application. There's at least one available for the BVAC, two if we can't fill any, you know, if we need more.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, talking about the LVAC versus BVAC groups, I mean, like, of the people that you just mentioned that you need on that board,
Yeah.
we're all sitting right here.
Yeah.
And so I think our original idea that this board was going to be that board, and now we're still looking for that org chart.
Yeah.
Like how one feeds the other. Would it make sense for all of us to just apply to that board, and then what do we do with this board?
So the LPAC is probably only going to have about 4 meetings. So it's very short in duration, and then it'll be over. If you all were to fill those seats, then each of those meetings has to be noticed, Brown Act, public. And I don't think that they were, I think they're going to be public, but I think there's going to be some issues there. I guess the question is, do you want this to be done, or do you see value in continuing the BVAC? And I know it's in the beginning, and there's not a full agenda or a full house here tonight, but I think there's value in keeping it. I think things will come, issues will come up, the agendas will fill up. So if the whole BVAC board wanted to do the LPAC, I think we would have some issues with just how they're both set up.
I mean, I'm a little curious about what those issues would be, because if the entire, you know, BVAC
Right.
board wants to join the LPAC,
Yeah.
then we could have the meetings here. We could have them at the same time, same, you know, location. They could be open to the public.
Yeah.
We would have all of the members that we need. And if it's only 4 or so meetings and it's short in duration, then it's kind of okay that takes over the agendas, because we don't exactly have packed agendas right now,
Okay.
you know, for the first couple meetings. And I think it would actually be good. I mean, I feel more comfortable having public participation and complying with the Brown Act for those meetings. I think that largely the people who are going to be wanting to be on the LBAC are the people, and participate in the meetings, are the people in this room and the people on this board. And so I think that it might make more sense just efficiency-wise, you know, and I think that, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I think that every other member on this board would be willing to apply for the LBAC as long as those 2 things were combined at the same meeting date and time. I mean, I'm, you know, mother of children in the Kelseyville school district, and, you know, a business owner. Joy is in ag, you know, I mean, like, you're a member of the Latino community. We've got someone who's in law enforcement. Like, I mean, I feel like we kind of cover a lot of those places, and I think a lot of us applied to this board in the beginning because we were really interested in contributing to that specific topic. And we do want the BVAC to continue as a voice in the community and as something that, you know, has a further purpose. But I think that the initial ability to address that issue within this forum might just help the people who want to be involved if we could bring it down, you know?
I hear you, and I completely understand. Were you able to talk to Mireya today, Brian, about it?
No, we didn't. We didn't make
connect.
contact today.
I don't know. The answer is I don't know, because it's really her project, and although it is directed by the board, I know that her next round of meetings were set to be Zoom meetings, and she was going to combine some planning areas that had some common themes that had come out of the community engagement. So I can ask her, I just don't know. I mean, trust me, I have been beating the bushes trying to fill 3 area plans.
And our worry is what happens if it's not
Yes.
filled, you know, because we all want to.
Yeah,
Right.
We're all here to have a say. And,
Right.
you
But-
know,
but we-
say
you
what
know.
the community needs and wants for this thing, and
Yeah.
but these are all of your volunteers.
I know.
Right.
This is
Like,
the pool
we're all in this
that you
room.
can pull from.
I know, and I'm so grateful to all of you. Rick?
Okay, stupid question time.
What? Hold on, I'm gonna just point of order. I think you need a microphone because we are.
Well,
doing this
you're the
live.
alternate, so you could sit up there with the microphone.
Actually, not yet. We
Not
haven't
yet?
changed the language of the bylaws to allow him to fill in a voting capacity.
Okay,
So-
okay.
On the
So
agenda
on
for
that,
next week.
The bylaws will be changed next week, so I forgot that part of that language, but I did have the change of the date. So if you send me an email like right away, I will.
I've asked Angela to put it on the agenda for next week so that we can address it
Okay.
and officially to the board.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So does the output from the LVAC committee come to this committee for further review and possibly making changes or what have you? Is that kind of what the intention is with the way these committees work?
Yes, so my understanding on how this is going to work is Mireya wants to have the first LPAC meetings it's probably going to be early August by now. It was supposed to be end of July, early August, and have a really focused conversation on land use and a lot of the other issues that were brought up in the community kickoff meeting. And then right after that, bring it back to the municipal advisory councils to have a broader discussion. The last time she explained it to me. So, I wish she was here.
Trina, you had a question?
I know,
No.
we do not have a
We do not.
flow chart yet. I'm sorry, I just got back from vacation on Monday. Yeah, so that's, we did ask Mireya for that.
I mean, I think that everyone in this room wants to have a voice. We're all engaged. We're all committed. We're just trying to figure out the most efficient way to do that so that, you know, we're not duplicating effort, wasting people's time, taking time away from our families and our homes. And, you know, everyone is here to make this community better, but we just want to do that in the most efficient way possible. So if we can sort of talk to Mireya about that, I think that would be helpful for everybody.
So a suggestion I have is if you want to delegate 2 of you and myself, and we can set up a time with her to kind of have this conversation so that we're not
Creating quorum.
all over the
Yeah.
place. We're not creating quorum, but then we can really kind of hash this out once and for all.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, are there any other
Um,
updates besides this one?
Well, no, the other update was the bylaws, and that I
Okay.
was going to mention that we did not have a flow chart yet. Yeah, this is like everyone's on vacation after budgets, and so it's a slow time, and so I do apologize for that. But do you know which 2 would like to have this meeting with Mireya?
I'm pretty available for the next 6 weeks.
Okay.
But after that, I'm gonna be really busy when school gets back in session.
Yeah.
Let's see when Mireya is available to do it. I think her schedule's probably.
But do you want to do it, Meg or Joy or?
Yeah, put us both on it.
Well, Brian said he would do it too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
put,
I think
put all 3. Let Mireya know when she can do it, and then 2 of us will be available.
somebody will, two people will show up.
Yeah.
We all have travel schedules.
Right, and we all have work schedules. So if she gives us a date, give us the 3 of us, and 2 of us will show up. We'll
If
make
you
it
wanna
work.
Send it to me, I can share it.
Okay.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so those are the district updates that I have, there's, in June, we passed our draft budget for almost $400 million. It's gone up significantly over the last few years. Our revenue has gone up significantly for the last few years. So property tax is up, sales tax is up, but not as up as it was. So we're starting to see that correction after COVID, when everyone was just literally buying everything from home. We do think that spending habits have changed, so that we will continue to see that high level of sales tax. It's not gone down to pre-pandemic levels. And so sales tax and property taxes are our biggest revenue sources. We get about 25 cents out of every dollar that goes to the state from property tax. So that's what comes back to us. So just interesting little tidbit for all of you. So every June we have our budget hearings. It's 2 full days. We go over every department, comb through everything. And then we adopt that as a draft. And then in September we come back and adopt it as the final budget. So we'll come back for final budget hearings in September. So that's, and the interest revenue, which I think, I don't know if we've had this conversation here before. Our past tax collector from a few years ago, the tax collector is in charge of the investment portfolio for the county. And so all of our money, hundreds of millions of dollars, is supposed to be invested in a way that we can capture a lot of interest. And it wasn't being done. All of our money was essentially in what's called a LAIF account, which is sort of like a government money market account, which is highly illegal. So Patrick Sullivan, our new tax collector, before he became tax collector, we started working on this new investment policy, and we brought on an asset manager in August of 2021 is when we started that. And we thought, we're probably missing out on a few $1 million here and there. It turns out that at that time when we transitioned to Chandler Asset Management, we were making about $80,000 to $90,000 per quarter on interest of our entire portfolio. And they said, we're gonna ramp up slowly, we're gonna diversify, we're gonna do all the things. Now we're making about $4 million a quarter.
Fantastic.
That's great.
That's outstanding.
And that is gonna continue to ramp up for a little bit longer and then kind of level out somewhere, probably about 20 million a year. So what that looks like is each one of our funds earns that interest. But it's only about half of the county's money. We also hold money for school districts, fire districts, special districts. So the other half of that, approximately we'll get to 20 million, is going back into those districts. The county gets about half of it.
Good.
The districts get about half of it. So that's really good news.
Yeah.
And we love getting those quarterly reports from Chandler Assets. So it's just this graph that goes like this. So it's pretty incredible. And a lot of that credit does go to Patrick, our tax collector. Bruno and I were on that committee to kind of help develop the plan for the investment strategy. But Patrick is the one that discovered it, so we're very lucky to have a great tax collector right now.
That's great.
That's good news. Thank you.
All right, well, on that happy note, does anyone have public comment for things that have been on the agenda? Because I think that's...
If you do, please use the microphone. Yeah.
We could share it.
Sorry, I just have
I'm
a
sorry,
question.
Supervisor Pyska, is that the last of your... Okay.
Oh, it is. On the applicants, when will that be determined? Because when are they going to be named?
Well, yeah, we kind of been pushing it out because we don't have enough applicants yet. So I know she wants to make the appointments within the next week or two. So I've been on the phone a lot trying to get people interested. Because like the Rivieras, I only had 4 applicants. So
all the applicants who apply will be
It should. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll have more applicants come in because, you know, I'm working on it. But yeah, but they do have to meet the criteria. You know, we have a tribal seat, we have an environmental seat, we have in this area we have an ag seat. And you have to reside in the area, the planning area. Yeah.
Okay. Any other supervisor updates? No? All right. So should we open it up to public comment for anything that's on the agenda?
This packed agenda.
All right. Well, essentially it's just the supervisor update. So does
Yeah.
anyone have any public comment on the supervisor updates? Go ahead, come on up to the microphone though.
So I saw that you had surveys. What are you going to do with that information from the surveys?
Can you
Which
refresh my
surveys?
recollection?
Well, on your, yes.
2050
You had different Rivieras, Kelseyville. You had surveys of what the residents or whoever responded was interested in, what were their priorities. I'm just wondering, how are you going to use that data?
I believe that was a workshop that was sort of immediate data to discuss that day. Am I way off?
Yeah, that was something that Maria from the planning department had set up, and I think that it was going to be used for that purpose, not for this board, but through the planning department, that they collected that.
Okay, because there were surveys sent out, maybe 150, I don't know how many,
Yeah.
or whatever, yeah, okay. I was just
And that
wondering
was
how
not
they
us,
were
that
gonna
was
use
the,
data.
that was the planning department.
Got it, thank
Yeah.
you.
Weston, yes.
Yeah, I'll just answer that. So that's, it's part of the general area plan, and they're taking those surveys, and my understanding there's another round of surveys that will come out. So essentially they're putting the information and kind of steadily whittling it down, and then for the general plan advisory council, like, that information ultimately, like, is how they start putting the plan together.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But yes, so it's all part of the GPAC. It's not necessarily, yeah.
Good to know.
Makes sense.
All right, well, that's it.
All right. Anybody want to call to adjourn?
Yeah.
One last opportunity in the back.
One more thing, folks. So when we do get up to use the microphone, it's very important to introduce yourself, let people know where you're from. I know this is all brand new, but I thought I'd encourage you as we go along. So thank you.
All right, does anyone else have anything to say? Yes. No, it's only things that are on the agenda. But if you would like to have something addressed, please get in touch with us and we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Only for things that are on the agenda.
Okay.
We do have an email. What is it?
Yeah, it is Big Valley Advisory Council at gmail.com.
So yeah, please, if you have any items that you want to add to the agenda next time, send us a note.
And we'll put them right on there. You know, if we can find some room in our incredibly packed
Yeah.
schedule of agenda
This-
items.
It was
So,
admittedly a slow time.
okay.
All right. I think we'll go ahead and close this meeting at 6:26. We'll have a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Yep. All right, unanimous.
Thank you, everybody.
Meeting is closed.